the more people like to divvy it up, and, you know, it's totally cool, you know, that there's enough people around that you're like, I don't like talking to that person because, you know, we have nothing in common and I think they're a jerk. That's fine. But people trying to find arbitrary, like, identity and identity type little classifications, trying to get really, really precise with it, and then just not associating with anyone outside their little box, and I think it's silly and stupid. And, you know, harmful to us as a community.
Since we're sharing coming out stories, I actually came out 3 years ago. I mean, that's not to say that I've only known that I was trans for 3 years. That's, you know, I came out and started transitioning 3 years ago. And I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. And I lived in a part of Phoenix where I was the only trans person that I knew, the only out trans person. And that experience was so horrible, I almost went back into the closet. And it's really terrible when you can't find, you know, the refuge in your own acronym, in your own local acronym. You know, being the only trans person in the local queer community was enough to make me want to go back in the closet. And so I came out here to the Bay Area, which, you know, has been a lot better for me. It has not been a cakewalk, because the Bay Area is a queer mecca, but it's not necessarily a trans mecca. Truth. And so, you know, I like to imagine that I'm helping create a space where other people in my previous position, you know, can come, you know. Not to, like, try and bring more people out here, but come to the Bay. We will love you. And we...
Good luck.
Yeah, I think, like, I really like having honest, real talk about the Bay. Having this real talk of, you know, it is one of the better places to be as, like, a queer person, even as a trans person. And I know I kind of, like, when I listed places, I've been to a substantial chunk of the places that you go if you're queer. And I think there's reasons that people do go places, and that's because, you know, lots of times the place they're from is not necessarily the healthiest place for them. But I also think that one of the things I've noticed here in the Bay is that you get a lot of people who move out here and desperately, like, want things to work out here, but it's really hard out here. The Bay has incredibly high cost of living. It has incredibly huge divides between rich and poor. And being a trans person often thrusts you, no matter what sort of background or education you have, into, you know, it's one of the groups of people, especially if you compound it with other things, that will make you the last hired and the first fired. And generally for very low-paying jobs that are part-time.
Raise your hand if you have either lost or been denied a job because you were trans out here in the Bay.
I can't say that I have.
I have been denied work in the Bay.
I still work at the job I transitioned at, and it hasn't come up so far. But there is a wonderful organization here called the Transgender Economic Empowerment Initiative, and I've hosted a workshop for them here in the East Bay. They're based in San Francisco, and so they definitely are helpful and can help you find a job, but still, it's not perfect.
I was in the program for a bit. I went to a couple workshops, and it was really awkward. But that can be like a different episode.
That was a personal thing for Jenna that she may not want to talk.
No, yeah, let's talk about it, because, you know,
you're like an open book, really.
Yeah, I am. It's only a shame that we're not making a book.
I'm a closed book that is currently out of print. I'm joking.
I'm not
really.
in the background saying things occasionally.
I am an embarrassing book that has been left open and on a coffee table, and the owner of the book is in the bathroom and does not know that you're flipping through it and judging them.
And thinking, what is that a picture of?
And can I buy it?
We've gone somewhere.
Thank you!